Hi everyone, I've been wanting to do a video because we have the super blood red moon coming up that's also a blue moon, and I've been wanting to do a video so I could talk about it, and it's also the new year for trees, and so I wanted to talk some more about some of the things that I've been talking about, but things kept coming up and so I haven't been able to make a video, so I'm going to try to make one right now. And I have this table over here, and this may not seem very impressive, but I think it'll be more impressive when you see another table that I did that comes up in the same matrix. I think it makes this table even more significant. And so I'll show you the other table after I go over this table. But this one reads super blue red moon, sun, goat hair, and yesh. And the reason I put goat hair is because it says in Revelation 6 that the sun will be black like sackcloth, and I believe it's in the NIV that it uses the term goat hair because sackcloth is made out of goat hair. And I'll just go ahead and show you that. You can see out here in Revelation 6:12. And you can see that in the King James it uses the word sackcloth, but if you look at it in the NIV, you can see that it uses the term goat hair. And then I put in the term Yesh, which is short for Yeshua, and then once again I think you'll see how the codes seem to be confirming that this in fact is referring to Yeshua, and that Yeshua is God, because you can see right here that it's using the H in Jehovah. There's so many H's in the text, but it just conveniently uses the H in Jehovah. And I'll read you the sentence where that comes up. It also says thy salvation, which is the name Yeshua. So this is exactly where Yesh comes up, where it says thy salvation, O Jehovah, which is exactly what Yeshua is. But I'll go ahead and read the sentence over here. Okay, it's coming up over here in verse 164, where it says, 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous ordinances. Great peace have they that love thy law, and they have no occasion of stumbling. I have hoped for thy salvation, O Jehovah, and have done thy commandments. So it's using these 3 verses over here is where the word Yesh spans over. And so you can see that over here it says, 7 times a day do I praise thee because of thy righteous ordinances. Great peace have they that love thy law, and they have no occasion of stumbling. I have hoped for thy salvation, O Jehovah. And so this is where you have the word Yesh. Okay, and then you have the word super, and that's coming up over here in the orange red color with the letters S, U, P, E, R, and then you have moon over here with the letters M, O, O, N. So you have supermoon, and then you have blue comes up over here in the pink, red comes up in this lavender color, and then sun is over here in the blue, and then goat hair is in the greenish blue is the word goat, and then hair would be, okay, you can barely see this because my display is really bad and the colors are fading, but it's using this H over here. So you have H, and then this A in salvation over here, and then I, and then R is right here. Like I said, I can barely see that, but that's in yellow. Okay, now here's the table that I really want to show you, and as you can see, this comes up in the same matrix. It comes up in Psalm 119, and this one came up in Psalm 119. This was verses 157 through 172. But then this table is coming up in the same chapter, but it's in verses 88 through 102. So this is just above the other matrix. And also have some other tables. And the reason I did this table is because I wanted to confirm what I had explained in my previous video about Acts 27 and what I had come to understand about that. Okay, and if you haven't seen the video, it would be this video right here, 2017, A Land Flowing with Milk and Honey versus Bees. And I also talked about it in these two videos. I think is where I first mentioned it. 2017, Noah's Ark, the consummation of the covenant. I believe that it was this one over here where I explained it. And I believe this one was a music video. And then I explained some more over here, and then after I did this video, I did another music video, but I explained in the description box of this music video that it was shortly after I had done this video where I had prayed before I opened my Bible and asked God if He wanted to show me anything. And when I opened the Bible, it went exactly, my eyes went exactly to Psalm 81 verse 6. Okay, it was actually verse 16 where it says, He should have fed them also with the finest of wheat, and with honey out of the rock should I have satisfied thee. Okay, but if you read Psalm 81 in the context, you see that this is where it's talking about the new moon. It says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. And the term over here for new moon is actually a full moon, because if you look up the word moon, it's actually 2320, means Kodesh, and this means new moon, monthly, lunar month. But then if you look up the word for time appointed, it's interesting that this comes up 276 times, because in Acts 27 there was 276 souls that were saved. So there seems to be a connection with this moon, with possibly the supermoon, and what happened in Acts 27, because they're both coming up in Psalm 119. But over here it says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed. And the time appointed means full moon. So you can see that right here. And so we have a super full moon coming up in the end of January, which is also a blue moon as well as a blood red moon, because it's an eclipse. And so this is coming up in Psalm 119. And then these terms over here, which I'll go over in just a minute, plus I have some more tables that seem to confirm this as well. But these terms are coming up in Psalm 119 as well. And it starts out with verse 88, which is the number for Jesus. And this one reads, ovary, Crete, sperm, Fair Haven, Malta, Italy, ship, and ark. So these were all terms that had to do with Acts 27 and what I believe is being represented in this imagery. I had talked about how I believe the ovary is represented over here by Crete, where you had this port called Fair Havens that they had stopped at, and this was a significant point in the story. And then the shipwreck occurred over here in this island of Malta, which, as I had mentioned in that video, that if you zoom in on it, you see that it looks like a sperm. And I can show you some images of the actual island, so you can see that even when you look at it in a larger scale, it still looks like a sperm. Okay, I'll go ahead and show it to you now. This right here is another island. This island is called Godex, but this is the island of Malta over here, and I'll just enlarge this. So you can see that this looks like the head of the sperm, and then it has like a little tail over here. Okay, here's what an actual sperm looks like. You can see these images over here. I put in ovary and sperm, and so you can see over here what an actual sperm looks like. Okay, so these are images of Malta. So you can see how it looks like a sperm, and it even has a little tail. Okay, here's another image, and then this is a separate island called Gozo over here. So Malta is this island over here with the tail. Okay, so hopefully you can see the resemblance. Here's some more images of sperm. Okay, and then I put in Fairhaven, Malta, Italy, ship, and ark. And all of these terms came up. You can see fair over here going straight up and down. And you can see haven over here. You see ovary in the pink with the letters O, V, A, R, Y. You can see sperm over here in the lavender, the letters S, P, E, R, M. It's interesting that it's coming right through Fairhaven. And then, which I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And that's where Crete was. This was, Fairhaven was, it's off the island of Crete. And like I said, I'll go over this a little bit more later. Okay, and then you also have the word Malta. It's coming up over here in the green, the letters M, A, L, T, A, so it's sharing the A in ovary. So that's interesting that Malta, which represents the sperm, is sharing the A in ovary. You also have the word sex coming up right here in the plain text, and I know some people were apparently offended by that, but they're probably offended by the Song of Solomon's as well. Then you have the word love over here. You have the word ships coming up in the green with the letters S, H, I, P. And then ark is over here in the burgundy with the letters A, R, K. And let's see, Italy is coming up. It's probably in the yellow. I can see it right here. The letters I, T, A, L, Y. It's over here. So you have Italy. Comes up right where you have the word testimonies. And I'm out of time, so I'll have to continue with more in the next video. Thanks.